Hey y'all, it's Kaya on Fire. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Today I have a really exciting and interesting video for you guys. Today I'm going to be debunking stereotypes about plus size women. As you guys can see and already know, I am a plus size babe, and these are things that I've heard, all my life, and I just feel like these things need to be addressed because there are so many negative stereotypes that is associated with being plus size, and especially being a plus size woman. The things I'm going to talk about, like I asked my other plus size friends, I asked my parents, I even asked like my male friends like their opinions. So these are just some of like the most common ones that I've heard, and the ones that I feel like really need to be addressed, because I simply feel like these things are like not true, and I'm honestly tired of people like saying it or thinking it, or like basically like associating these things with all plus size women. And I feel like these things can be like these things can be true about some people, but it's not about like everybody. So like I said, these are just some things that I feel like need to be addressed, and that I like really want to give my opinion on, because I'm very opinionated, especially when it comes to like plus size issues. So I just want to like give y'all my personal opinion, how I feel about things. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna be reading off my iPad because I wouldn't be able to remember all the ones that I wrote down. So I'm just going to be reading from here. So if I look down, that's why. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to address is that plus size women have no standards, and that we are desperate for male attention. And the reason I started off with this one, because if you know me in real life, if you are my friend, then my standards are up here. Like, and that's why I honestly feel like I haven't, really been in a relationship with anyone, is because every person that I come into contact with, they do not meet my standards. They're not even on like they're a good person and like they're doing everything right and I'm just being picky type of thing, but they just simply aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like, I feel like plus size women are allowed to have standards just like anyone else. People feel just because we are plus size that we should take anyone that like gives us attention or that like talks to us, and that is far from the truth. Like, so many people DM me all the time, but they just not my cup of tea. And like I'm never rude about it, but I know what I like and I know what I deserve. I'm not just about to like settle just because Joe Blow from across the street thinks I'm cute. Like, that's just not what we're gonna do. So I feel like that is like a big misconception about plus size women, that we have no standards. The plus size women I know have high standards, even higher than mine. Like, we do not play around. We like what we like, and I feel like we should be entitled to like what we like, just like anybody else, just like any man, woman, especially like people who are smaller than us. So to say that plus size women have no standards, or that we're desperate for male attention, is far from the truth. Because for real, I can give two flying fish about who thinks I'm cute or who wants to talk to me, because first and foremost, I think I'm cute. I have myself, and I'm trying to be like, oh well, she's just saying that, or like like I genuinely feel that way. Like, every time like I get into a situation and it don't work out, it's always kind of like, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never like, oh well, what did I do, or blah 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 blah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just never gave that. It's just like, oh well, even if I am disappointed, it's just kind of like, in the end, it just wasn't meant to be. So it is what it is. Like, and my ladies, and even like my plus size men, never lower your standards for anybody. I mean anyone. Like, my friends used to tell me, Kai, your standards are too high. You need to give people a chance. You need to do this. You need to do that. Y'all, I recently, like within like the last few months, well, year really, lowered my standards for someone else. And when I tell you, it was ghetto.
I'm in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta.
It
Ra-ta-ta-ta.
was so freaking trash. Like, and every time I see him now, I just be like, I just get like a stank face because I really sat there and entertained someone who was nowhere like on my level, all because I let someone else's opinion influence me in my beliefs. Like, I'm 0 out of 10 would not recommend. Never lower your standards for anyone else. Like, did that once, never again. And like I said, like, we're entitled to feel how we feel. We're entitled to like how like life will be like, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, lowering your standards, I feel, is like downplaying yourself, like downplaying like who you are as a person and what you deserve, because like you're really settling for someone that's not on your level. And like I said, I've been there, done that. Would not recommend. If you guys want a story time on that, it was a whole thing. But yeah, don't lower your standards for anyone, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for having standards, because we are allowed to have standards just like anybody else. And that's on Mary and her little lamb. So the next one I'm going to get into is plus size women stink. I've actually heard that a couple times, and I've heard like I said, oh yeah, big girls stink, or like their areas down there smell like fish, or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that is, first of all, it's rude, and it's like simply not true. Everyone has body odor, whether you're plus size or you're average size. Like, everyone has a body odor, or everyone has experienced smelling a not so pleasant smell. So I feel like just to sit there and say, oh, all plus size women stink, or like their areas down there be stinking, who's, because now mine, like, I take, like, because I know that I am a bigger woman, I make sure I take extra hygiene measures when it comes to my personal hygiene. Like, I make sure I shower really good, make sure I put on enough deodorant, make sure I put on lotion with a scent, as well as spraying myself. Like, because I know that I can get really sweaty, because like I said, I'm a bigger girl. Like, I make sure that like my hygiene is always on point. Like, I've never had anyone tell me that I stink. Like, when I was in college, like, one of my friends, like, every time he would hug me, he would be like, damn, Kai, you smell so good. Because like, I don't like, smelling bad. I don't even like thinking that I smell bad. So it's like, I always make sure, I put on like 10 layers of deodorant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put on like a bunch of spray. I'll spray myself like right when I get dressed, and like right when I leave, right when, like, even when I'm out, like, because I don't want to have a smell, or I want to make sure that I don't, begin to have a smell. But some people, like, they can't help, how their body functions. Some people do have a smell, and that's something that they can't help. But to sit there and say, oh, all plus size women, have a smell, or they stink, is just rude, like I said, and it's simply not true. I knew some small girls who didn't smell too pleasant. So I feel like having body odor just isn't a plus size thing. It's a human thing. Everyone deals with it. Everyone goes through it. But like I said, people are really rude about it. They try to like make fun of people. Like I said, especially plus size women. I bet she stink. I bet her vagina stinks. Which is just, like I said, rude, and that's not true. As well as like my overall body health, especially like my vagina health. Like, I make sure that I'm always fresh. That things are always in order. And if a person does have a smell, it could be a medical condition. Like, you don't know like why the person smells the way that they smell. Like, I doubt that they're just out here being funky. I knew someone like that, but that's like a whole nother story. But like, sometimes it can be a medical condition, and like, you up here being rude about it, like, that's just not even necessary. But like I said, just having the idea that all plus size women stink is, like I said, just simply not true and rude. Because I always make sure that I smell good. Like, that's something I was taught like from a young age, like by my parents. Like, because you are a plus size girl, you're gonna become a plus size woman, and that you have to make sure that your hygiene is always on point. And that's something that, like, I live by. Shower, like, even if that means taking extra showers or whatever the case may be, just make sure like your hygiene is always on point. Make sure you always smell good. But like I said, not all plus size women stink. I know some small people who stink as well. So just having that whole like notion is just, like I said, just simply untrue and rude. So the next one I'm going to get into is, oh, this is a good one. that plus size women have low self-esteem and that we don't love ourselves. I hate that stereotype so much because I've heard men in the past say, "Oh, I like dating plus size women because they have low self esteem, and she gonna treat you like a king. She gonna, worship the ground you walk on, this and the third." That is just no. Like no, it's just not it at all. I feel like people who have low self esteem is not just a plus size thing; it's an everybody thing. Like I know some smaller women, smaller men who are very handsome and very beautiful who suffer from self-esteem issues. Like it's not just a plus size thing. And to say that plus size women all suffer from low self-esteem just because we are plus size, like I said, it's completely untrue and it's false, because people feel like just because we're big that we're unhappy and that we feel some type of way about ourselves. I feel like it's with anyone that there are things that you would like to change, even myself. But overall, I love myself. I love the heck out of myself. Like I'm pretty much, for the most part, happy with who I am as a person. Like I said, there are a few things that I would like to change. That's just like a human nature thing. But I love myself. No one can tell me nothing about myself and not even try to be conceited and not even trying to bring the Leo out of me or nothing. Like I love myself. Like come on now, like look at me. Not, like I said, not trying to sound conceited, like face card, been it. Even my personality, like I feel like I'm a good person. I'm smart, like, and I feel like I'm beautiful. So it's just like you can never make me feel no type of way about myself. There are days I have like where I just don't feel 100%, but that's everybody. That's like we're human. But like I said, you can tell me nothing about myself. I think I am gorgeous, and that's something that I'm gonna make sure I teach my kids. Like you have to think that you're popping. Like how are you gonna expect anyone else to think that you're popping if you don't? Like you have to hold yourself to a certain level. You have to feel a certain way about yourself, because people will try to break you down. People try to talk about you, all the other stuff, just because they feel ugly on the inside. So having high self-esteem and having high confidence is very important, because when you have those things, you're more secure within yourself. So it's not easy for other people to bring you down. And I know a lot of plus size women who think and who are the baddest thing walking. Like just because we're bigger doesn't mean we're insecure or we have low self-esteem. Like I said, I know plenty of smaller girls who have shitty self-esteem. Like I'm just gonna keep it real. Like having low self-esteem isn't a size thing, it's a human thing. Like everyone can feel some type of way about themselves. So it's like just to sit here and say, oh, plus size women have low self-esteem and we don't love ourselves and yada yada yada, which is completely untrue. And then the men who prey on plus size women who do have low self-esteem, shame on y'all, because that's just like a control issue for me. It's like you really trying to play on someone else's insecurities just to make yourself feel better, and just to make yourself, like, just to build yourself up. If you have to do that, I feel like you're ugly on the inside. Like that's just my personal opinion. If you really have to sit there and shit on other people, you're ugly on the inside. If you have to sit there and try to manipulate someone who's going through something just to make yourself feel better, you're a shitty person. Like there's no way around it. Like, so I hate when women say, oh yeah, I mess with plus size women because they be having low self-esteem and they'll do whatever you want. They'll give you money, they'll cook for you, they'll do this and the third. I don't know what plus size women y'all know, but not this one. I'm sorry. And the plus size women that I know, not them either. Like I hold myself to a certain standard. I have a certain level of respect for myself. So I'm not about to sit here and let anyone like play with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, has it happened? Yeah, but I've learned from those experiences. And you know what they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And it's always shame on them, because I never let anyone play with me twice. I'm a human being, so it's like, what the heck? I know y'all saw like that piece of lint flying around, but I never let anyone like play with me, because I know my self-worth and I know what I bring to the table, whether it's my personality or how I look, you know what I'm saying? Like, so all I'm gonna say is not all plus size women, you know, have low self-esteem and don't love themselves, because like I said, I love the hell out of myself. And that's something, you know, I try to, you know, like preach here on my channel, is like, you know, just because you are plus size doesn't mean you have to feel insecure about yourself. Like, that's just like, you know, simply not true. Like, am I where I would like to be? No. But where I am right now is a lot farther than where I was, especially when I was a child. Like, when I was a child, my self-esteem sucked. It was terrible because I let what other people said about me and thought about me influence how I felt about myself. And as I got older and as I like started growing into the person that you see right now, it's like, you really can't tell me nothing about myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole life, you know, people would like make fun of me, say, oh, you're fat, you're this, that, and the third. And now that I'm an adult, I haven't really had it happen, you know, like in like the last few years, but oh, you're fat, you're this and that, you're this, that, and the third. But okay, like at this point, I'm just like, what else do you have to say? Like, come on, like, do you need me to help you think of something else? Like, cause all you can say, the only thing someone can say about me is that I'm fat, that I'm a big person, like I'm a big girl. Clearly, if you have eyes, you can see that, but you can't say I'm a bad person. You can't say I'm not smart. You can't say I'm not pretty, because like I said, face card been it. But that's all you can say. So when I learned that that's all people can say about me, that's when I really started to build my self-esteem up, because, you know, yeah, sticks and stones but hurt, but you know what I'm saying, like, there's nothing I haven't heard before. At 22, almost 23, there's nothing you can say to me about my weight that can make me feel some type of way. There's nothing that I don't already know about myself. Yes, I am a big woman. That's about it. And I'm still going to be a big woman. Like I said, is there things that I would like to change? Hell yeah. But overall, I'm happy with myself. You know, if I can like shift some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I'm happy at the size I am. I'm happy with the skin that I'm in. So I feel like that's just really important for everyone, is just to be happy with who you are, and don't let what other people think or feel about you influence how you feel about yourself. Because when you allow people to do that, your self-esteem just dwindles down to like nothing, and your self-love dwindles down to nothing. And like I said, it took me a while to get here, but I'm so happy that I'm finally in like that place, like where I can say I genuinely like love myself. And you know, I have a lot more growing to do. I have a lot, you know, more years ahead of me. So I feel like it's only going up from here. So like I said, plus size women don't all have low self-esteem, and having low self-esteem is not a plus size woman problem. Everyone at some point experiences having low self-esteem and low self-confidence, because we're human. Everyone experiences those emotions. It's not just plus size women. So the next one I'm going to talk about is, we like it when people say, oh, you're pretty for a big girl. Hold on, y'all, I need to sip my tea. It's just water, but because when I tell y'all, like, that irks me so freaking bad. Like, I hate when people say, oh, you have a pretty face, or oh, you're pretty for a big girl. Like, that really makes me want to like punch somebody. Like, not even trying, like, I'm not even being dramatic. I hate when people say that, because like, if that isn't a backhanded compliment, I don't know what is. Like, what do you mean I'm pretty for a big girl? Like, are you trying to say like that big women aren't pretty? Because some of the most beautiful women that I know are plus size women. Like, and at first, like when I was younger, I would think that was a compliment, but as I got older, I'm just like, no. Like, if you can't give me a real compliment, don't compliment me at all. Don't even say anything to me. Like, saying, oh, you're pretty for a plus size girl, you're pretty for a big girl, oh, you have a pretty face. For me, like when I was younger, it was always, oh, you have pretty hair. So what are you trying to say? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is such like, that is like the biggest backhanded compliment you can give a plus size woman, because you're trying to say like, oh, even though you are huge, that you're a house, you're a pretty house. Like, no, like, just say you're pretty, or you look good, or I like this, or I like that. Don't sit here and try to give anyone a backhanded compliment and thinking we're supposed to be ecstatic. No. Like, I haven't heard that in a while. Like, when people compliment me, it's just like, oh, you're pretty, or oh, like, you look good, or oh, I like the way this and the third. Like, but don't tell no woman like she's pretty for a plus size girl, because it's rude. It's so rude, and like, it's so backhanded. Like, what if someone's like, oh, you're handsome for a short man? You can be like, damn, like, what do you mean? Like I said, no one likes backhanded compliments, so stop telling plus size women, oh, you're pretty for a plus size girl. No, I'm pretty for anybody. Whether I'm 150 or 350, I'm pretty. Like, I look good regardless of what size I am. Like I said, you can, like I said, the face, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take that from me. I'm a pretty individual, and like, there are so many pretty women out there, regardless of how big they are, how small they are. They're beautiful women. So like, just because you're small doesn't mean you're cute. Like, that's like another thing too. Like, just because someone's smaller doesn't mean that they're automatically deemed as pretty. Their body type is more accepted in society, but if we're being honest, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Like, there's no comparison. And I feel like this day and age, plus size women are really starting to understand their worth, and, you know, really start to like embrace themselves being plus size women. And people hate that, like, oh, you know, for a big girl, like, you know, this, like, I love your another thing is, oh, I love your confidence. Why wouldn't I be confident? Because I'm big? Like I said, confidence, like, it's a thing. Like, it's a thing for anyone. Small people have shitty confidence too. Like, don't automatically assume because I'm bigger, I'm insecure and I don't have confidence within myself. Like, that's just not true at all. Like, it's, like I said, rude. Word of the day is rude. A lot of these things that I've been talking about, they're rude. Like, and I'll say it again. Like, oh yeah, I love your confidence. Especially like Lizzo. Like, I love Lizzo. Lizzo is a beautiful human being. I love her so much. Like, her attitude, her style, everything. And people in the comments be like, oh, I wish I had her confidence. Like, just because she's a bigger woman doesn't mean she gotta like hate herself or wear, you know, like homey clothes or whatever. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just try. Like, if you are friends with someone that's plus size, or you know someone that's plus size, try to refrain, or even if you don't know anyone, just try to refrain from giving them backhanded compliments, because I feel like a lot of plus size women now really know, like, we're the shit. So it's like, we're not going to be like, oh, thanks. No, it's going to be like, okay, and like basically, what is that supposed to mean? Just because we're bigger women, like, doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm pretty for anybody. I'm pretty for a big girl, small girl, black girl, whatever. Like, I'm just pretty, period. Like, it's, you and your backhanded compliment can go over there, because it's not welcome here. Like, in my space, no backhanded compliments. Like I said, it's just rude and untrue. So that's just like a lesson. And I know sometimes it's hard to, like, like, break habits, but just don't. Just don't. So the next one I'm going to talk about is that all plus size women want to be skinny. I'm not going to hold y'all. There was a point in my life that I really wanted to be skinny. And I'm talking about, like, skinny, like, actually being skinny. But as I got older, I do not want to be skinny. And there's nothing against being skinny, and no hate to, like, my plus size my skinny women out there. I'm sorry. But I like being thicker. I like having meat on my bones. Are there some things I would like to change? Like I mentioned earlier, yeah, like, if I could just take this stomach and put it behind, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be straight. You know, if I like had my arms like a little bit smaller, now I'll be top notch. But overall, I'm happy with how I look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm, like, my size, you know, it is what it is. But there are some things that I would like to change, but I don't want to be skinny. Like I said, I like being thicker. I have big hips. Like, I would like some more booty, but I like having hips. I like having a large chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that I like about myself. So why would I want to be anything but that? Why would I want to be skinny? And there's nothing wrong with being skinny. But like I said, if there's things that you want to change about yourself, I'm all for it. But make sure you're doing it for yourself and not for other people and not for other people's satisfaction, because once you change yourself for them, you're still going to be unhappy because you're unhappy within yourself. But I don't know no plus size woman personally that wants to be skinny. I'm sorry. Like, and not even trying to say that like in a rude way. Like, the people I know, they want to, you know, like, change some things around just like myself, but no one I know wants to be skinny. Being thick is it. Being thick is in. Like, the other day I was watching Fat Girls with, like, Monique. I freaking love that movie, and I had not seen it in years. The Thick Madames, period. Like, there's nothing wrong with being thick. Thick is just, like, it's just something about being thick, you know, like, it's just something extra about being thick. And I like being a thicker woman. So, like I said, there's things I'm going to change, you know, like, but overall, I'm still going to be plus size. Like, my body's going to, like, look different, but I'm still going to be a plus size woman because that's what I like and that's how I choose to live my life. So, I have one more topic. Didn't want this video to be too long. And then the last one is, it kind of ties into the last one I talked about, and that is plus size women are not healthy, which is completely untrue. There are some plus size people who do suffer from lots of health issues, but a lot of people I know don't have any underlying health issues due to their weight. And my whole life, like, I would go to the doctor and it's like, oh, you have to lose weight, or you're too big, or this, that, and third, or you should be like this size for your height, and all this other stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, please, just like, hush, please. Like, every plus size person you see is not unhealthy. At the age I am now, I've been to the doctor. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have high cholesterol. I don't have diabetes, and I'm a bigger girl. Do those things run in my family? They do. So that's, with that being said, I am going to make some lifestyle changes to prevent those things from happening. But as of right now, I'm in good health. Like, aside from me having asthma, I was born with asthma. Like, that wasn't because of my weight. And, like, any other problems that I have, like, I got bad knees, but I used to play a sport. So it's like, it's not because of my weight. Like, it's because I was chucking girls in rugby. But, like, just don't assume that every big person has health issues. And I'm not saying that big people don't have health issues, because, like, we clearly do. And we're more prone to, you know, getting those type of things. But just don't assume that, you know, like, we are unhealthy, like, we don't exercise, you know, we don't eat right. Sometimes that's just how our body is genetically made. Like, I know some people, I've heard some women, like, say that no matter what they eat, no matter how much they exercise, they're still big women and they're in a clean bill of health. Like, that's just how their body is made, and, like, there's nothing they can do about it. So just, like, stop assuming that plus size people are lazy and that we sit in the house and eat all day and this, that, and the third, because it's just, like, simply not true. Like, me personally, like, I don't eat a lot. Like, I feel like it's more of what I eat, and I'm really starting to, like, get back into making better eating choices. But I don't really eat a lot. I might eat, like, once a day into, like, a snack, if we're being honest. But, and that's even not healthy. But I'm in good health, and just because, like I said, someone is bigger doesn't mean that they're in, you know, like, bad shape of health. So just stop assuming that plus size people aren't healthy and that, you know, we don't enjoy physical activity, we don't enjoy having a healthy lifestyle, because, like I said, it's simply not true. So that is the end of my video. There was just, like I said, these were just the things that I feel like I've heard a lot, things that stuck out the most. If you have any other stereotypes, link them down below, drop them in the comment section. Yeah, because, you know, I'll do a part 2 if there's anything else that you guys want to hear, because I'm full of opinions. So thank you for watching this video. I missed you guys. I'm really trying to start posting more often. But yeah, before I go, can we just like get into like this beat though? Like, I think it's so cute. I feel like I look like a cute witch. Like, my nails are like green and like this purple eyeshadow. I just filmed this look like an hour ago, so I don't know which one I'm going to post first. But the tutorial on this look will be on my channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.